Hi class, today we'll be talking about writing linear equations. For the standardized test practice problem, we have that Kelsey drew a scale drawing of a triangular logo. Each side of the logo Kelsey drew was 1/3 the length of the original logo. The perimeter of the original logo was 216 centimeters. What is the perimeter of Kelsey's drawing? So if each side is 1/3 the length of the original drawing, then the perimeter of the one that Kelsey drew is going to be 1/3 of the perimeter of the original. So we'll just multiply 1/3 by 216, and that will be 72 centimeters. Okay, so today we're going to talk about two different forms of equations. The first is the slope-intercept form of a linear equation. It is represented by y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. The first page of our notes will deal with the slope-intercept form. The second equation that we're going to deal with is the point-slope form. It is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1, where x sub 1 and y sub 1 are the coordinates of a point on the line, and m is the slope of the line. These first two examples show you both types of linear equations. The first one is the slope-intercept form. The second is the point-slope form. For the second one, we will be looking at it on the page 2 of the notes. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to write our equations in slope-intercept form given by the lines that are described. So on the first one, m is 3/2. The y-intercept they're giving us, b, is 4. Our equation, again in slope-intercept form, is y equals mx plus b. So all we have to do is substitute in 3/2 for m and 4 for b. Y equals 3/2 x plus 4. Okay, on the second example, we have a slope of -2 and a line that passes through the point -4, 6. So what I would recommend is underneath the -4, 6, put x, comma, y. That will tell us what to sub into the formula. Again, the formula is y equals mx plus b. So we substitute in 6 for y, set that equal to -2 for m times -4 for x plus b. So we're going to solve this for b, and then we're going to write the formula with m of -2 and our value of b. So to simplify this line, we would have 6 equals 8 plus b. We would then subtract 8 from both sides, therefore -2 is b. And our equation of our line would be y equals -2x. I'm getting that -2 from the m, and then the y-intercept is -2. Okay, on the third example, we have a slope of -13/5, and a point going through 5, -7, our x and our y. So we will have -7 equals -13/5 times 5 plus b. So maybe, hopefully you'll see that the 5's will cancel each other out, and so we will be left with negative 7 equals negative 13 plus b. So we'll add 13 to both sides, and that will give us that 6 is b. Our equation of our line then would be y equals negative 13 fifths plus 6. Oh, I forgot my x, excuse me. Negative 13 fifths x plus 6. All right, on the next two examples, we're just going to look at our lines, find our y-intercept and our slope. So our slope, m, if we start from the point 1, 6 and we go to the point 3, 0, we are going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 6, over 1, 2. Simplify that, that would be m is negative 3. Our y-intercept is up here where we cross the y-axis, so b is 9. And our equation would be y equals negative 3x plus 9. On example 5, start at 0, 0, move to 4, 5. Again, we start on the left, we start to the left, we move to the right. So we climb up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So m is going to be 5 over 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 over 4. B this time is at 0, where we're crossing the y-axis. So our equation of the line would be y equals 5 fourths x. We don't need the plus 0. Okay, before we work with our point slope form, we want to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. So use the slope intercept or point slope form to find equations of lines that are parallel or perpendicular to a given line. Parallel lines have the same slope. Have the same slopes. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. And so, just to mention on these two examples that are worked out for you, write an equation of a line that passes through negative 1, 5 and is parallel to the graph of y equals 3x plus 1. The slope of the given line is 3. Since the slopes of parallel lines are equal, the slope of the parallel line is also 3. And you can see the formula worked out, which we're about to do together. On the second one, we have an equation that passes through 8, 2 and is perpendicular to the line whose equation is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. So the slope of the given line is negative 1/2. Since the slopes of perpendicular lines are negative, or I like to say opposite reciprocals, we take the opposite sign here, so it would be positive, and we flip it over. You can see slope is 2. Now let's practice using the point slope form. And if you need further examples from what we do, always refer back to these because these are good and already spelled out for you. Okay, so I'm going to start with writing the equation or the point slope equation. It's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We'll label under our point with an x1 and a y1. Our slope is parallel to the slope 1/2, so our m is 1/2. And the way we work the problem is we replace the y1, the m, and the x1 with these values. So we'll have y minus 2 equals 1/2 times x minus a negative 4. So we'll want to make the minus negative into a plus. We'll distribute through. On the right side, we'll have y minus 2 on the left equals 1/2 x plus a half times 4 would be 2. That is an equation, and that is in point slope form. Let me put it in slope intercept form. So when we have it here, then we would just add 2 to both sides. So our line would be y equals 1/2 x plus 4. So we use the point slope form to find the line, but then we solved for y to write our equation in slope intercept form. Okay, I'm going to delete that and move up so you can see better. Again, it's a good idea to rewrite what the point slope form is before you start. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We're perpendicular to negative 3, so our slope, the opposite, would be positive, and the reciprocal of 3, think of that as 3 over 1 would be 1 over 3. The 3,1 we're going to label as x1, comma, y1. And we're going to sub into the formula, so we'll have y minus 1 equals 1/3 times x minus 3. Keep the left side the same for right now. Distribute on the right, we'll have 1/3 times x is 1/3 x minus 1/3 times 3 would be a 1. If we solve for y, you'd see that we would add 1 to both sides, which would make this, the y-intercept 0. So the equation of the line would just be y equals 1/3 x. Okay, I'm going to just box this formula so that we can use it to help us work number 8. So we have an extra step on this one. We're passing through the point 2, negative 2, but we're perpendicular to the line that is x plus 5y equals 6. So we need to start with rewriting this in slope intercept form. So we'll subtract x from both sides. And we'll have 5y equals negative x plus 6. We'll divide everything by 5. We'll have y equals negative 1/5 x plus 6/5 And we did all that work just to find our slope of the perpendicular line, which is -1/5. So our m will be the opposite sign, so positive. The reciprocal of 1/5 is 5/1, so we'll have m is 5. Our point, 2, -2, that's our x1, y1. Okay, so I'm going to use the point slope form, and I'm going to have y minus -2 equals m, which is 5, times x minus 2. Minus a -2 would make this y plus 2 equals 5x minus 10. Subtract 2 from both sides. Our line will be y equals 5x minus 12.
Teachers, pardon the interruption. I need for all freshmen to go to the theater room to have their picture taken at this time. All freshmen. Thank you.
Okay. The next one is going to be a little tricky. We pass through the point 6, 1, and we're parallel to the line that has an x-intercept of -3, so that means it has an ordered pair of 0, -3, and a y-intercept of 5, so 5, 0. So we're going to have to find the slope of this line first. We'll take 0 minus a -3. It's y2 minus y1. It's y1 over x2 minus x1 will give us our slope. So we have our y2 minus our y1 over x2 minus x1 will give us a slope of 3/5. Again, our line is parallel. Our point is x1, y1, the 6 and the 1. So we'll have y minus 1 equals m, so 3/5 times x minus 6. We'll distribute through. We'll have y minus 1 equals 3/5 x minus 18/5. If we add 1 to both sides, we could also say we're adding 5/5 to both sides. So let's just look at this for a minute. If we have -18/5 and we add 5/5, we will have -13/5 for our y-intercept. So our line will be y equals 3/5 x minus 13/5. That one's a little challenging. I don't believe y'all will see one quite that challenging on the test. Okay, the last one, the point, we'll label -2, 1 as x1, y1. Perpendicular to 4 means that m will be -1/4. So we'll have y minus 1 equals -1/4 times x minus -2. Turn the minus negative into a plus. Keep the left side the same. Y minus 1 equals, distribute, -1/4 times x is -1/4 x. And -1/4 times 2 would be equal to -1/2. I would just say, if you're not good with fractions, use the calculator. -1/2. we're going to add 1 to both sides. So 1 is the same thing as adding 2 halves. Our line will be y equals negative 1/4 x. If we have the negative 1 plus 2, that would be a positive 1/2. Okay, so now we've practiced writing linear equations in slope-intercept and the point-slope form. I hope you have a great day.